Forbestown was founded in 1850, when B.F. Forbes opened a store here to supply the gold rush boom in this area. Forbestown had a population of almost 3,000 people in its heyday. At a forested elevation of almost 3,000 feet, some mined, some logged or worked in the nearby lumber mills, and some operated stores geared towards mining operations. Forbestown had 5 hotels, 10 saloons, 2 dance halls and a number of smaller stores and homes, and even a few mansions. The post office pictured here was established in 1854. This is Harry P. Stowe, the owner of the Gold Bank Mine. Here is the Gold Bank Mine in 1917. And the enormous hoist house at the bottom of this photo at the extremely lucrative Gold Bank Mine. Here is a group photo of the mine crew in 1893. Not many smiles, instead looks of exhausted and hard-working men. Here's a man working a drill deep inside of the Gold Bank Mine. All of this hard work made Harry a rich man, and he built this mansion for himself and his wife Mrs. Stowe, pictured here, in 1895. This mine employed many men and was pretty much the lifeblood of Forbestown. You can see the Stowe mansion sitting above the hoist house in this 1893 photograph. Here is another crew in front of the Locust Point Tunnel near the Gold Bank Mine in 1895. A fire in 1860 destroyed most of the original Forbestown commercial district. Losses were estimated at $90,000. A significant sum at the time. Forbestown was rebuilt, some say better than before. Only to burn down again months later. Arson was suspected as 2 presumed robbers were said to have started the fire as a form of vengeance. Though never proven. Forbestown would eventually become a ghost town in the 1930s. Even now there are only about 300 people living here. Here is a photograph of the old schoolhouse. Eventually a newer school was built for the children of Forbestown. Here it is in the 1940s or 50s. The Wells Fargo vaults were in this building. You can almost see where the sign hanging out front says Gold Bank. There was also a Gold Bank Hotel. It is unknown what year this photo was taken, but the hotel looks to have seen better days. Here is the Forbestown Masonic Lodge photos from 1962. And another much older one, year unknown. Forbestown had a baseball team and also a full band pictured here in 1900 in front of the Exchange Hotel. This is the blacksmith shop, with a few men posing out front. Various lodges and groups held meetings in this building here. Some men preferred to work alone on the creeks with rocker boxes and gold pans like this feller here. This was Dick Grass's log cabin photographed in 1910. This is the Forbestown Mill in 1917. Owned by A.J. Batt. The trees here were another type of gold mine in this area. The 4th of July was a huge deal in patriotic Forbestown. A chance to relax and be festive after hard work placer mining was gladly welcomed. There were a few placer mines here. This is the Shakespeare Mine and a photograph of its crew in 1860. Leonard Anderson was 19 years old when he lost his life in the Gold Bank Mine in 1890. Here is an unknown group of miners in 1890. Not sure why there are children in this shot. Not sure why these men have on suits and sashes either. Photograph taken in 1880. Here's a group posing for a photograph in 1890. They have all taken off their hats. Here is the Carlisle Mine, with people posing on a bridge in 1915. This is an early photograph of the Forbestown Head Dam on Lost Creek. High waters washed it out in 1909. And since we're on the subject, here is the Slate Creek Bridge with a horse and wagon crossing over it in 1905. It was located between the Yuba and Sierra County lines, and washed out in 1907, and eventually replaced with a much stronger steel bridge instead. This was the Forbestown Lodging House and Store in 1910. This was the big fancy Forbestown Hotel in 1890. Many a horse and wagon pulled up at this premier hotel with patrons and of course supplies. Placer gold deposits were described as the richest in all of Butte County. In 1881, a 28-ounce nugget was discovered here in Forbestown. Located on New York Flat Road is the Yuba Feather Museum, dedicated to the history of Forbestown. There is also the Pioneer Cemetery. Both are on my must-see list. If you enjoy these videos, consider subscribing, or sharing with others that may like it too. You can also visit my channel for over 350 videos about wonderful Northern California history.